Ready? Play.
Start for the Spaniard. We didn't drill down too much into the head-to-head. It's a slightly peculiar head-to-head, isn't it? Because it features a couple of matches that weren't finished. Officially, it's 2 apiece, but 2 of those were retirements midway through the second set. So only 2 matches finished, and they've been split. That was Miami 2016. I guess similar sort of conditions to these, perhaps slightly slower down in Miami. Azarenka winning that one 7-6, 7-6. Muguruza winning in Rome on the clay. That was last autumn. 6-4 in the third. So again, tough to only get an indication in terms of how these two have faced off historically as to who might come through this today.
If you're thinking about the conditions out here just a little bit, all the players have been mentioning how quick the courts are this year compared to previous years. If I had to give the edge to someone, I do feel like Muguruza would probably like these little faster courts. I think it's just going to give her that little advantage, especially with that extra firepower off the ground.
Full change.
Well, she's got a couple of early chances. Should be an ideal start for the number 9 seed. Higher ranked of the 2 players. Muguruza 10 in the world. Azarenka just inside the top 20, number 19.
That serve's going to be so important for Azarenka, that first serve percentage. Muguruza is going to be looking to pounce on that second serve.
Yeah, hasn't been firing so far. Good chance here for the Spaniard. Another second serve to get stuck into.
Good second serve. Put a little bit more pace on that one. 90 miles an hour, but good placement into the body of Muguruza. Muguruza tends to be up on that baseline. Between first and second serves, you can just see her shift a little bit forward inside the baseline, looking to take the serve early. It's always a good choice to try and jam your opponent when they're looking to take that ball early.
Advantage, Azarenka.
It's been a nice settler. She comes through this opening game. And she does. It's a good effort from 15-40. Both break points. She missed the first serve. Fair bit of pressure on the second serve. But it is an initial hold. 3 finals here in New York for Victoria Azarenka. The most recent of those, of course, last summer. We had the 3-week bubble playing the Western and Southern Open, which normally takes place in Cincinnati. I came away with the trophy there, so it was a really positive 3 weeks, wasn't it? It seemed like Azarenka was just loving being back on the tennis court. That was my memory of watching her over that period. That hadn't always been the case, had it? There was a lot of focus and a lot of talk about that.
Well, she said that a lot in her interviews. I mean, how much there's just to look at Conchita Martinez right there, putting on the sunscreen, coach of Garbine Muguruza. But yeah, Azarenka was very open and honest about where she was mentally and how she had dealt with the time off during the pandemic and away from the sport, how she had worked quite a bit on her mentality. I think in particular what struck me the most last year about Azarenka was how open and honest she was about, I don't know, just allowing herself to be vulnerable, allowing herself to express her emotions, and how challenging it was sometimes with some down moments that she went through. I like the fact that she was willing to express that and be open about that.
Oh, that is sensational. Azarenka at her very best.
Yeah, what Azarenka does so well is even if she gets pushed back behind the baseline with some deep shots, she shifts her position forward. Anything short, you see her just cut into the court right away, take that ball early. That footwork is so good from her, being willing to not only move side to side well, but up and back, always looking for that opportunity to move inside the baseline.
A little bit fortunate with the net cord, but such a strong start to the point again, wasn't it? A couple of backhands that within a couple of feet of Muguruza's baseline, immediately making her feel uncomfortable. Having saved a couple of break points, she's got 3 of her own now. Went after it.
15-14.
That was the right move to do. It's just that serve had a little bit more kick on it than Azarenka anticipated. She just jumped higher up on her shoulders than she anticipated. Good serve from Muguruza.
Two saved.
13-14.
First serve here would be useful. One more chance for last year's finalist. And she converts at the 3rd time of asking. That's a perfect start to the match for Azarenka. Basically, having been down in her opening service game, to come through that game gives you a bit of confidence, lets you to settle, and with the early break, things looking good.
That was well done, and she made sure that she got that last return in play after not being able to convert on the first 2 break chances. Did a good job of just getting that return right down the center of the court, making Muguruza play.
Was due to play Osaka in the final of that Western Southern Open event that was held here at Flushing Meadows. Switched from Cincinnati over to New York just prior to last year's Open. Osaka pulling out of that final, so left with the trophy but without actually winning that final as such. To play the final, should I say. Some good wins during that week of competition over Vekic, Garcia, Cornet, Jabeur and Konta. Carried that form over nicely. The US Open. Again, some tough wins en route. Beat Sabalenka, second round, who was 5th seed, 1 and 3. Swiatek, of course, we know what she went on to achieve that autumn. That was straight sets. Mukova in 3 sets. Mertens won and love in the quarterfinals. And beat Serena in the semis.
Definitely not an easy route to last year's final, that's
Big
for
names,
sure.
aren't they? Yeah.
15-13.
Osaka winning the final after Azarenka won the first set, but Japanese player coming through in 3 sets. She's back in action this evening.
Light. Second serve.
For a moment, just looked like Azarenka was struggling a little bit with the toss on that side. Just catching the toss a couple times, maybe just the sun in her eyes slightly, so just adjusting her toss. Good pressure there from Muguruza, really just
13-14.
getting her body behind that last backhand, flattening it out. That's one of her best shots, is being able to get that backhand cross off the court. Just got Azarenka on the run, so another break chance.
It's just deep this time, so hits back pretty quickly, the Spaniard.
Azarenka leads 2-1, first set.
Break a piece so far. Back on serve, 1-2.
Wait, please.
Almost got going. Still just a few filtering into that lower area of the stand. To Muguruza's right. We're good to go now. Big hitting, clean. Let's change of direction.
Love it.
That's good adjustment there from Azarenka. It almost looked like, I thought for a moment she was a little bit out of position. I think she just caught that ball a little bit late, but it worked to her advantage, able to redirect that down the line. Well, that's good play from Muguruza. That's something that I've definitely
15.
noticed in the last couple of years. She's trying to come into the net a little bit more, especially off the serve. She makes sure she's very aware of where her opponent is on that return, and you can see immediately he moves up to take that ball, swing volley. Muguruza has got such a strong serve, so when she finishes that serve, she does finish inside the baseline. You can, after the serve, she just split steps, holds her position. That's such an advantage because with that powerful of a serve, a lot of times you get that short reply, so you want to keep that position inside the baseline if you can. Azarenka did a great job of staying with that last ball. It was a good deep ball from Muguruza, and Azarenka had to take that ball on the rise, but did a good job of just hitting it back into the court.
Setting.
It's been such a big part of Azarenka's qualities on a tennis court, that competitive nature she brings inside the lines. Wow, that's a heck of a combination.
Well, it's good ball striking from both players. Azarenka doing a great job of getting to this ball. Puts a little slice on that, and I thought that might give Muguruza a little bit of trouble with that ball skidding through the court, but she stayed nice and low with the legs. That was well done. Oh, just made it.
Just a few millimeters of the line. That's enough. Brings up another game point. It's got a slightly shorter ball and was all over it.
Well, I think that the depth is so important for both of these players because both of them do an excellent job of anything shorter in the court. They're going to try and get their opponent on the move. It's going to be about who's going to be able to take that first strike. Both rally so well off the ground. That one just missing. Still a good strike on the ball from Azarenka. Both players prefer their backhand side as well. You could see Azarenka throughout that rally. Normally, that middle ball, you see most players move around, try and hit the forehand. You can see how much Azarenka prefers that backhand side, that where she feels slightly more comfortable.
Game Muguruza.
So very competitive opening 4 games, 22 minutes for the first 4 games, a break apiece. And the Spaniard levels things, 2 games all. Just a quick reminder to download the US Open app to follow all the players still left in the draws, track the latest scores today on day 5 at the Open. Find all the stats on their match highlights as well, player news, interviews, and much more. It's available in the App Store and the Google Play Store. Another busy one around the grounds. It's been an entertaining opening 4 days. So many stories to try and keep track of. Big results. Another fantastic strike.
15 on.
Not much in it in these opening 4 games. Muguruza with chances in Azarenka's opening service games. She saved those initial break points. Belarusian breaking for 2 love. Back came Muguruza. Maybe just starting to show signs, Jill, of settling into this contest.
15-30.
Yeah, these last couple of points especially just lifted her level. I mean, Azarenka just took a little bit off that last forehand, and that was enough for Muguruza just to change the dynamic of that point, set that up, really hit through those last couple of forehands.
First serve percentage still relatively, well, it is low, not relatively low, it is low. It's down in the low 40s for Azarenka. I want that to be way higher. Just missed that time, but I guess the problem, you keep missing first serves, you just,
30 on.
the pressure builds and builds and builds. You might survive, you know, maybe 2 or 3 service games, but you can't go in an entire match at this level, can you, with that sort of number?
Yeah, over the course of a match, yeah, it can definitely apply that extra pressure. I have to say, though, Azarenka is doing a good job of most of these second serves when she's had to throw them in. She's going more body, which is pretty smart, and trying to put a little extra more on the second serve. Oh, that's great accuracy there, just mixing it up.
14-30.
Sometimes it's when you find the first serves as well. That was a good time. 5 out of first ace brings up game point.
A little bit of frustration there. It was good depth from Muguruza down the center of the court. It's a tough one, in my opinion, to change direction on that one. I think Azarenka was trying to go down the line, ended up getting a little late. That's the one you got to just keep the percentages, try and stay cross court until you get a better opportunity.
Started to get up.
Advantage. Azarenka.
I think Muguruza upped the pace off the ground there, trying to overpower Azarenka a little bit throughout that point, but Azarenka just staying so stable.
She's hit that backhand so well so far today, isn't it? You touched on Azarenka being comfortable hitting a backhand from that sort of central position of the court, but Muguruza has hit that sort of inside-out backhand.
Yeah, she likes that shot a lot. But to be able to create that angle from the center of the court, too, is probably one of the most difficult shots. They both prefer their backhand side. Both very comfortable off that wing.
Advantage. Azarenka.
She was perhaps taken by surprise by the quality of Azarenka's reply. Maybe felt like it was flying long.
3 games to 2. First set.
Daniil Collins has been playing some good tennis this summer. The American, she takes on the second seed Sabalenka today. There'll be a lot of American eyes on that one.
And 15-0.
Perhaps the opportunity for some of the Americans, maybe just slightly lower down the rankings, to get a piece of the spotlight here at the US Open, of course, with no Serena, no Venus, Sophia Kenin missing, Jen Brady, who had such a good US Open this time last year. Of course, made the Australian Open final start of the year. She's missing as well through injury. But still a good number of Americans for the locals to get behind.
It's just good ball striking from Muguruza, such good depth. And you can see that last ball, Azarenka just getting defensive in that point, trying to change up the rhythm on Muguruza, but just hit that last one too flat. Like Muguruza's intention right now.
14.
As soon as she sees that Azarenka is in trouble, I like she doesn't hesitate, looking to take that ball out of the air.
Game Muguruza.
Yeah, it's a good point you make, I think, though. Just thinking, watching that slow motion replay of her hitting the drive volley, you've got to be ruthless in those situations. It was a good look at the replay because you can see Azarenka off balance, and then you've got to keep pressing, haven't you, to finish those kind of points off. You let that drop, it's probably drifting around the baseline. It's almost you're back back to square one in terms of how the point plays out.
Well, that's exactly right. I mean, I think that's a good play for Muguruza to try and make the points a little bit shorter. And when she gets those opportunities, try to finish the ball with a swing volley, finish the point. Oh, that's a great shot. Smart choice, too, on the full run, assuming that Azarenka was going to maybe look to come forward into the net for that short angle, dip right down at the feet. To me, one of Azarenka's biggest strengths is when she's at the baseline and she's stable and set and in position, she does a really good job of keeping her opponent on the run and just keeps moving you around the court. So for Muguruza, if she can take that away from Azarenka and move in and try and take quite a few of these balls out of the air, I think that's going to be a great play for her.
15-13.
Serve percentage it's edging in the right direction, just over the 50 mark now for Azarenka. So far, it feels like she's been finding the first serve when it's mattered.
Let's first serve.
So whether she can continue to do that in this 7th game, get out of another hole. Fully committed.
It's 13.
Azarenka moved well on that overhead. Just heard her take those couple extra adjustment steps to make sure she was in the right position.
Electronic line calling in operation. If you haven't been watching over the first few days, so no line umpires, as they're known, on the court. A series of cameras generating the out calls on all the courts across Flushing Meadows. So no challenge system as such. You can fire up a close call review, which basically just shows you where that ball's landed, but the outcome's not going to change. Sensational. What a point from Azarenka. Depth and power initially before the killer forehand up the line.
Azarenka leads 4-3.
Another good hold, 4-3. This time last year, a couple of quarterfinals for the Belarusian as well. It's been quite such a happy hunting ground for the Spaniard. You compare this major to performance at the other 3 Grand Slams. 2-time champion, Muguruza. That's trophies coming at Wimbledon 2017, French Open 2016. another final at Wimbledon, a
30.
final down in Australia as well. And Muguruza, so both have excelled at Grand Slam level over the years. Hasn't quite figured it out here in New York, Muguruza, of the 4 majors.
There's a little change-up that Azarenka tried to throw in, that slice. And Muguruza handled it very well, got that extra acceleration through the ball.
Third ace to wrap
4
up.
games on, first set.
Very efficient service game. Yeah, just one visit to the last 16 for the Spaniard here in New York. Do you get a sense of why this major stands out in that respect for her?
I mean, that surprises me. I mean, I know these courts change a little bit from previous years. As we mentioned, the court's a little bit faster this year, which I think she might like. But yeah, no, I mean, that's surprising to me. I don't know back in like what her results were or who she played, what her opponents were in the previous years. We'll have to look that up, but I would think she would be a favorite, in my opinion, one of the favorites, obviously, on these courts.
Asked about that in a most recent press conference. Says she feels like it's a learning process, just trying to get the best out of a game on. Well, they're quick, these courts, this year, aren't they? That's what all the players have been saying. Quickest for a number of years, depending on who you talk to.
I think also the fact that she's gotten a little bit more aggressive in the last couple of years as far as looking to transition forward a little bit more and incorporate the net game into her overall game, I think will help her on these courts. I think that's something that she's definitely improved upon, is just looking for those opportunities to take the ball out of the air.
Just wide this time. It's been a pattern.
11-14.
During the most recent Azarenka service games, down in the game without Muguruza actually getting a look at a break point, but this time, different story. Three chances to leave herself serving for the first set.
Let's second serve. In game, Muguruza.
Spaniard breaks. What a time to do so.
Muguruza leads 5-4, first set.
So the number 9 seed. Just another efficient service game. Away coming through this opening set, 5-4. Serve numbers have been better. First set percentage is right up there, isn't it, at the moment? 77% she's made. to rely on the second serve on too many occasions.
Third serve.
Sensational conclusion to the set from the Spaniard. She's been ruthless in the last 5 minutes. It's just deep.
14-15.
Second chance to seal this.
Game and first set.
And she does so with an ace. Really turned on the style over the closing stages of that opening set.
By 6 games to 4.
Coach will be delighted. Comes through the opener. Let's see how Azarenka responds then. This is a heck of a run. If you rewind, Jill, to the tail end of that first set, she was down 4-3 Muguruza. She held to love, broke to love, held to 15 to win the set. Maths was never my strong point. I think that's 13 out of the last 14 points. It's a decent run anyway.
That's incredible, yeah. I mean, could you see it in her face? She's got this other, like, complete higher level of determination, and she just looked to stay inside the baseline. And it started really from in the middle of that set where we just started noticing that she was taking a few more balls out of the air, just wasn't hesitating at all. So those last 15 points right there, just Azarenka just winning one of those. I mean, Muguruza just on a roll.
I passed my maths test. That's
good
good news.
Let's first serve.
C+.
Just in time for you to graduate, or?
Yeah. 49 years of age. Got there eventually. Big game for Azarenka because of that, of course. It's always a big game, isn't it? First game of a new set, but even more so when you've been dominated in the last 5 or 10 minutes. She was well aware of that. She's been struggling a bit with the ball toss from that end.
I like Azarenka's attitude out there too. I mean, just constantly jumping around, just pumping her fist, just showing Muguruza how competitive she is. I mean, these two know each other extremely well. Muguruza knows what kind of fighter Azarenka is out there. But just to show your opponent that as well, that positive energy.
14-30.
So important.
Yeah, in these kind of games, you do anything to come through this service game, don't you? It doesn't have to be pretty at this stage. It's so important to get that first hold on the board. class.
Juice.
It's a 20th winner so far today for Muguruza.
Great body serve there from Azarenka.
Azarenka.
First serve percentage slowly going up. Azarenka in this first game.
Game Azarenka. First game, second set.
It's a good hold. It's another service game, though, where she's had to dig in from going behind early. It's been a theme. Second half of the first set. Although she survived a couple of times, she was down 15-30, love 30, before being broken towards the end of that opener. So it hasn't been easy on serve.
She did a fantastic job there because, I mean, I just saw the point difference. Muguruza had won 14 out of the 15 points. So for Azarenka to be able to change that momentum around, it's not easy to do because you just feel like you're maybe slowly slipping away. But Azarenka did a great job of just staying competitive in that first game.
Football.
Return after the initial foot fault. We got a quick look at the replay. That's called by a review official. Slightly different setup these days with the electronic line calling, but there's a review official in the booth on every court who's closely monitoring those cameras around the baseline to see whether any of the players just touch the line before they strike the ball. Some nice creativity midway through the point.
See, during that point, Azarenka just caught that ball so low. So just her only option was to really slice. It was actually a really good shot. Had a lot of side spin on it, but Muguruza handled it well. Hit a great shot just down the center of the court. Muguruza been so solid at the net. It's won every point when she's been able to come forward.
15-14.
They're starting to feel Azarenka putting a lot of pressure on that second serve. A couple break point chances here for Azarenka.
Momentum can switch so quickly in this sport. Having talked about the importance of the previous game for Azarenka, now this becomes a huge moment for Muguruza. Doesn't want to undo all that good work so quickly.
Let's first serve.
Well-constructed point from Azarenka, didn't overplay. Good use of the court.
Azarenka leads 2-0.
And as if we
Second set.
needed to be reminded of Vika's fighting spirit on a tennis court. Goodness me, it's a good effort, isn't it? Having been completely dominated towards the end of the first set, here she is, she's up 2-0.
I mean, I think that's one of her best assets is, you know, not getting down at herself. I mean, she could have easily felt that she was maybe out and about. I mean, the amount of points that Muguruza won straight in a row, you could feel that maybe she might start thinking it's slipping away. But that's why I mentioned that that positive energy she was exuding in that exact moment to change things around.
Me for the body line approach. Did a pretty good effort to get some strings on that. Self-defense.
I think that was the right play. I mean, I think because she caught it a little bit low, I think Azarenka, if she had caught it any higher over the net, she probably would have picked her spots. But when you have to hit up on the ball, it gives the advantage to the net player.
Slow high ball early, not easy to time it. She didn't get it quite right. Still a decent pass though.
Yeah, it's not easy to get a lot of pace on that ball. I actually was surprised she didn't take that ball out of the air. It probably would have been a little bit of a better play, but I think she hesitated in the beginning, so didn't feel like she could get up quickly enough to take that out of the air. Great pass from Azarenka.
Azarenka enjoying a purple patch right now.
Fortunate.
This has been some response.
Game Azarenka.
What a response.
Azarenka leads 3-0. The second set.
Turn this match on its head, 3-0. So with Muguruza.
Players are ready. Any seat from now, please.
Just taking a few moments to let those last few fans settle inside this monster of a stadium. Trading 3-0.
15. Certainly.
That's good pressure from Azarenka. You just get the sense that Muguruza is trying to slow things down just a little bit, taking a little bit more time in between points. Those first 3 games of this second set just going so quickly. Azarenka holding at love. The last game, one of her easiest service games in this match.
Football.
Another 2-2 games now. First time I've heard it this week, actually.
Yeah, same. Front foot just catching the line on that first serve.
Chance for a double break. Lost a rhythm on first serve in the second set. Azarenka taking advantage.
Azarenka leads 4 games to love. The second set.
How was that return of serve for a statement? 4-0.
Yeah, I'm feeling very comfortable, especially on that second serve. I mean, Azarenka just all over that and getting a lot of look at backhands on the second serve, which is her biggest strength. So feels very comfortable not hesitating going after that shot.
USOpen.org is the official tournament website. Everything you need to know is waiting for you there.
15.
Live scoring throughout the day. It's a busy one, singles. And it's both men's and women's draws. Plenty of doubles around the grounds as well. But a mix today as well. Junior qualifying, I noticed, on the order of play as well. Junior's starting to get things rolling. All the highlights on there. Interviews, reactions from the players. Saturday's schedule will be available later today.
In 15-0. In 15-13.
It might be a tall order coming Starting to turn this second set around for Muguruza, but important doesn't become completely one-sided, and you're starting the decider with confidence levels having taken a hit.
15-14.
You could just see the frustration there from Azarenka. Just knows she's gotten Muguruza at a point where she's just disrupted her rhythm, so doesn't want to take her foot off the gas. That's why she was a little bit flustered. She missed that last backhand, wants to keep this big lead in this second set.
Azarenka tosses the racket to the ground.
4 games to 1.
Been broken. Looks like she's lost a vibration dampener as well. So back to a single break now. Muguruza looking to narrow the gap further. It's been surprising to see the first serve drop off so dramatically, hasn't it? It was one of the standout numbers in the first set. She's made just 3 of 13 in this second set so far, 23%.
And she knows it too. Took a little bit off that first serve just to make sure she got it in, but Azarenka punishing that return.
To that slightly shorter ball beautifully.
I was just thinking too in the middle of that rally, it was actually a much better played point from Muguruza. Looked a little bit more focused on that point, but still just that short reply, that last ball just landing past the service line, giving Azarenka a chance to attack.
No let up from Vika.
New ball place. Azarenka leads 5 games to 1.
To force a decider, and it's starting to look that way now. 5-1 serving. Set of strings to try and finish the job.
Just Vika getting caught a little bit behind with Muguruza back-footing Azarenka on that last shot.
Love 30.
It's been a great play from Muguruza, is when she's been able to get Azarenka just a little bit off balance on that forehand side, and then taking the next one back behind Azarenka. It's been a great play that's worked out for Muguruza. And that's that last backhand from Azarenka. Just put a little bit more pace behind that. Just, I think, mostly out of frustration. A little extra power behind that backhand.
Even though she'd still be in good shape at 5-2, if she were to drop serve, there's a sense from the body language she's desperate to get it done here. Come through this service game.
It's good serving from Azarenka to get this game back to deuce.
Advantage, Muguruza.
I suppose there's a degree of frustration, isn't there, even if Azarenka were to be broken here. 5-2, eventually wrap up this set. It just, I guess it just dents the confidence a touch if you're still heading into the decider. Big difference, isn't there, serving it out 6-1. That's good.
She got it really fine, but must caught the very edge of the sideline. Look at that height over that ball. Such good height and depth to set up that next shot just inside the sideline.
Advantage, Muguruza.
It's also that issue of momentum as well, isn't it? Azarenka's done a fantastic job of wrestling that her way. Wrap up the set here. Will very much feel as she heads to the chair that that's in her favour, but drop serve. This gives your opponent a little bit of a boost. 5-1 could quickly become 5-3.
Game. Muguruza.
And a frustrating way to drop serve as well. So still a bit of work to do in terms of this second set.
5 games at the turn.
Still in pretty good shape overall, Azarenka. 5-2. Let's see whether she can continue this mini recovery, Muguruza.
And Muguruza has really struggled on her serve, in particular in this second set. First serve percentage was over 70% in that first set. Now it's just 24% for this second set.
A couple of foot faults as well, which don't help. Back-to-back double faults. Can the foot faults get into your head as a player?
For sure it can. I mean, I think I was pretty impressed, like after the couple foot faults that were called on her, she actually handled the second serve really well. I was wondering if that was going to bother her, but it obviously has bothered her on that first serve. I think also when you're struggling to get that first serve in, it can affect the rest of your game. And it seems like Muguruza has just lost a little bit of confidence overall in this second set. First serve percentage has disrupted her game off the ground as well. That's better. A little bit of a shorter return from Azarenka. I mean, she got a lot of pace on it, but that pace, unless you have that depth, most of these players are going to like that pace off the ground. It's not going to bother them that much.
Back to 30 all. Missed.
14-30.
Surprised actually she ran around to take that as a forehand. More body serve. We've seen Azarenka so often want that backhand side, even with the serves that are coming into her body. It's one of the longer rallies of this set. So many of these points have been so quick, and that's due to the Azarenka lifting her level. And Muguruza, I feel like those longer rallies would just help her maybe feel a little bit more comfortable out there. But that time, Azarenka just stepping it up on that last backhand.
Nice footwork to get into position. Time that drive volley sweetly.
Muguruza. Azarenka leads 5-3, second set.
So the second set continues. It's turning into an intriguing second set. It was all Garbine Muguruza at the tail end of the first set. 12 of the last 13 points in that first set. And then Azarenka coming back impressively. It's been a weird one, hasn't it? It feels like she's dominated this set, and yet here we are still 5-3.
So well done. We've seen Azarenka try and go for that drop shot a couple times, but this time in much better position. Such good timing with Muguruza so far behind the baseline.
Two down, two to go. Came pretty close when she served at 5-1, but just couldn't quite get over the line. It was looking like she might break for 6-2 when Muguruza served back-to-back double faults in that 8th game, but the Spaniard came back to hold. Second time in this 9th game.
What a time to do it as well. I mean, 2 well-executed drop shots to get her to set point.
Three of them now for Azarenka. It's nice volley, taking a bit of pace off. Knew exactly where she wanted to put that.
Wasn't the easiest volley, too, with where she was in the court. I mean, well behind the service line, but just didn't try and overplay that. Just went for the perfect volley, that angle cross court.
So Azarenka still not done with this second set. Second chance.
Let's for service.
As clean as a whistle.
Most powerful shot from Muguruza. Got on her back foot on both of these ground strokes, but good load on that back leg.
2 set points saved. One more to face for the Spaniard. But the set goes the way of Azarenka.
Final set.
So 1 set shootout for a place in the round of 16 here in New York.
Well, we talked about how Azarenka really lifted her level in that second, but She was up 5-1. Muguruza did a good job of pushing it to get a couple more games. And I think that was important for Muguruza to start this third set, probably a little bit stronger than in the beginning of that second. I think the fact that Muguruza was able to gain a little bit more confidence at the end, you know, even though she wasn't able to win that second set, the fact that she got a little bit more competitive and confident in those last couple games, I think can help her at the beginning of this third.
Full change. Full change, 15.
Azarenka furious, has missed that last ball, but Muguruza will be.
First game, final set.
She's come through that service game, just couldn't enjoy any kind of comfort on serve, could she, in that second set?
Yeah, much better start there from Muguruza. You could see the frustration there. I mean, it is frustrating for a player when you do feel like you're set up for the ball and then you do miss it by that much margin. I mean, that's why Azarenka was so flustered with that last unforced error. Felt like she had a good look at that, but much better serving from Muguruza to start this third set. Azarenka picked that up so quickly. Muguruza wasn't quite ready for where that ball landed, a little bit shorter in the court. Just wasn't quite up to that one, let that ball drop. That's why it was a little bit more challenging to control.
Fortunate. Full change, 15.
Super aggressive.
Azarenka.
Just that look in her eye. Still in this
One game
third set.
on, final set.
Reminder that this is for a place in the fourth round. The winner of this match will face the winner of the contest that's just got going. Over on grandstand, Barbara Krejcikova from the Czech Republic. Playing a lucky loser from Russia, Kamila Rakimova, who's come through a couple of rounds.
Muguruza just taking another look at that. I thought that might have just missed as well, but good depth. Azarenka just hitting the back of the baseline.
Defense from Azarenka. Muguruza disappointed she's missed the high backhand volley, but great effort, just forcing her to play a couple of extra balls. Even though that flew long, it feels like Azarenka's come out at the start of this third, just
15-30.
striking the ball with a bit of extra venom.
She's not backing away either from the baseline. That's what shifted for her in that second set. Just took the ball slightly earlier, didn't allow herself to get pushed back, and she's just continuing to try and stay up on that baseline to move Muguruza around.
Builds pressure, doesn't it? That kind of approach, even if you miss a couple of balls.
14.
Certainly in this third game, she's made the Spaniard feel uncomfortable. Two chances to break.
That was a little bit more of what Muguruza did in the first set, was look to take a few more of those balls out of the air. It's good that she incorporated that just to change up the rhythm slightly.
Saves the second of those breakpoint chances.
Just
A battle of wills, this decider. Conchita Martinez fully engaged, court side. All of a sudden, the playing surface illuminated by a burst of sunshine. That's an important hold. Little scrappy. She got it done, 2-1.
Muguruza leads 2-1. Final set.
Whether Victoria Azarenka's record at this tournament will make a difference in this decider. Feeling of comfort. The good vibes from all the matches she's won here over the years. Looking for a 43rd US Open victory this afternoon. You compare that to Muguruza's record. She's looking for just a 10th. That's a big difference in terms of levels of success. This major.
In 15.
That'll make her feel good. Muguruza just a little springer step after that return. Azarenka has been serving a lot better as this match has progressed. So just to take that second serve away from her a little bit, apply a little more pressure.
In 15, that's right.
4 apiece in terms of double faults.
Quick miss there from Azarenka. Gives Muguruza a couple break point chances here. Just a little bit of dip in concentration.
Azarenka, goodness me. Some serious quality to save the day.
What a pickup on the baseline from Azarenka. Such good hands. And Muguruza played a great point. Just Azarenka able to turn that point around right from the return.
Azarenka.
A lot more visual. A brand of fighting spirit and determination compared to the Spaniards.
2 games on final set.
So a gutsy hold apiece in this deciding set. Nothing in it. Set apiece 2-all. Follow everything that's happening here at Flushing Meadows around the grounds on social media. Stay connected to the US Open on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram and YouTube, and you can join the conversation with hashtag US Open.
And 15 left.
I like the variety that Azarenka produced all of a sudden towards the end of the second set. That final game of the second set, played 2 beautiful drop shots, didn't she, from out of nowhere. Whether we might see a little more of that in this third set. Haven't had too much variation from either player, something you predicted at the start of the match, Jill.
Yeah, I think that's something that she has such great hands to be able to throw in that drop shot, and she disguises it well. It's just having the opportunity to do it, because sometimes with the way Muguruza is hitting the ball with such power and depth, it's not the easiest thing to produce that drop shot off of those particular shots. No, that's too good. I mean, but when you get the opportunity, maybe get a shorter ball, you can move forward, and then that's when you can incorporate that shot. But look at the balance from Muguruza on the baseline to redirect that one. And just got a little bit ahead of herself on that. Good serve out wide.
14.
Just rushed that approach shot slightly.
Similar on forced errors, but Muguruza well ahead in the winner's struck, 30 for the Spaniard in this match. It's good serve, sensible serve. Taking that ball out of Azarenka's strike zone. Moves ahead once more. 3-2.
Final set.
Greatest venue for the Spaniard in terms of deep runs. Major level, just that one visit to the round of 16 previously. Came in 2017, so just a couple of match wins in our last 3 visits. Lost to Peronkova this time last year when we were at this tournament with no fans. That was in the second round.
Love setter.
This is a good platform for the Spaniard. Got to view this as a wonderful opportunity. Azarenka love 30, trailing 2-3. Didn't catch that clean.
15.
That's when Azarenka's been able to get a couple free points, is when she's gone body on that second serve. Muguruza just not quick enough away from that ball to hit a clean strike on that return. That's the right ball that she wants. She likes that backhand down the line, has been successful when she's gone behind Azarenka. Just didn't have enough rotation on that last backhand.
It was decided to surge forwards, had a lot of work to do with that low volley, but executed it to perfection.
That was such a good time to come in. I mean, caught Muguruza by surprise, caught me by surprise. It was nice to see her come into the net, handled that low volley really well.
Just carving around the side, bit of side spin to take it away from the Spaniard. Big point too as well to make that decision, wasn't it? 2-3, 30 all.
Going for that same serve. You can see she's been catching quite a few of her tosses. She's just sometimes getting that toss a little bit too far out in front.
She survives. To get the drop shot spot on.
Yes.
And she did in some good court position thereafter. Has been top draw in this sixth game. Very impressive.
That came in off a really strong approach out there too. Got a lot of depth on that, but stayed calm at the net. Smart using the short part of the court on the volley, just not allowing Muguruza another chance at the baseline. A lot of work on that ball on that second serve. That one just sitting up there for Muguruza on the forehand on the return.
Advantage. Azarenka.
Good job from Azarenka fending off those deep shots. Muguruza just a little hesitant on that last forehand.
still not done in this sixth game. The longer it goes on, the more important it becomes, you feel, psychologically. Well into an 8th minute. Forwards again this time. Couldn't reproduce the same kind of quality with the volley.
Yeah, I feel like she almost got caught whether to strike through that volley or go for that shorter drop shot volley into the court, and she just got stuck in between. A little bit indecisive.
Another chance then for the Spaniards. Second break point of the game. Her 4th of this deciding set. There's a reset on the ball toss. It's wide. There's the break.
Muguruza. New ball space.
8 minutes it took
Muguruza leads 4 games to 0.
the Spaniards to make a breakthrough in this final set.
Just a little bit impatient on that last rally from Azarenka. She's done such a good job of staying really focused throughout those rallies, and I feel like that last one, she just wasn't quite in position, just wanted to finish the point. Unusual to see that quick error from her.
So reaction after dropping serve. That is such a wonderful strike.
15-11.
Laser-like up that line. Nice way to start a big game. Numbers on serve for Muguruza have improved dramatically since the second set. It's been a real bonus for the Spaniard. Being able to rediscover some rhythm in that department. Further evidence, 7th ace.
14-11.
Well, she couldn't have wished for a more perfect service game, really. Having got the break, holds to love, she is in charge.
Muguruza leads 5 games to 2. Final set.
It's now or never for Victoria Azarenka. Has to get a hold of serve here to stay alive here at the US Open. Trading 5-2, final set.
Let's first serve. Let's first serve.
shooting. Perfect blend of
15,
power
11.
and accuracy.
It's just good first confident point from Azarenka. I mean, you can see the way she's setting up for the ball, just in making sure she's in really good position. Oh, that's good depth on that return.
15.
Trying to use all her experience in this situation many times and found a way to survive. It has to start with a hold of serve here. Every player gets tight.
15.
Finish off matches, never mind big matches such as these, in this case in the biggest stadium in the world. But you've got to put your opponents in that position. That's the first job on the list, isn't it? Somehow fight your way through this game. Give Muguruza the opportunity to get tight. Double fault followed by an ace.
13.
And another.
14, 30.
Third and fourth of the match.
Muguruza just changing up her return position there, just a little bit more inside the baseline on the first serve, just to cut off that angle.
It's long, and it leaves Garbine Muguruza on the brink of victory.
Advantage. Muguruza.
2014 on the clock. Spaniard, a point away.
Game.
Oh, what a shame that it had to end on a double fault.
By 2-1, 6-4.
It is the Spaniard Muguruza who moves into the round of 16. Only the second time in her career. Just a bit too good today for Azarenka. 6-2 in the third.